What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today, I want to kind of explain a little bit to you black people out there how powerful and influential you are and how important your voice is, all right? And how dangerous your voice is to people in the world that, don't have your best interests or many other best interests of other people at hand. They don't have it. They don't have it. And I want to give an example that I don't think maybe a lot of people are not paying attention. They are paying attention to the fact that we are being attacked from every angle, about every issue in the world, right? And we're being expected to voice our opinion in a certain way. All the different factions are mad that black people are not on their side at the end of the day, right? And I want you to think about this. While we sit here and have to fight back from people telling us how we're supposed to think about things, for people telling us that we need to fall in line with their program, you don't hear them doing that to anybody else, really. You don't see them asking and coming down, like literally coming down on Native Americans. You don't see them coming down on Native Americans about why they support the Palestinians, right? You don't see them coming down on Native Americans. You don't see them, the whole world, pressing Native Americans about why they don't take certain positions or why they're staying out of certain fights. Even though out of all the people in the world, Native Americans should be listened to the most when it comes to illegal immigrants coming from Europe to their land and stealing it and using God and a religion to justify the genocide and murder of entire people, right? To the point to where the white people who are here in America believe that God and George Washington came down together, right? Had a heterosexual baby, right? And had a Jesus Washington Carver, and they just fucking invented America and gave it to Europeans. Like, and they both wrote the Bible, and the Constitution is a scripture in the Bible, and it belongs to them. Like the things Europeans do to justify the shit that they do, right? So that they can sleep at night, right? If anybody can talk about that, Native Americans, they have the right to talk about it. But you don't see anybody pressing them, right? Or coming down or being mad at them for not advocating for the Palestinians. You don't see the world coming down on Latin America, right? For coming down on Israel and things like that. You don't see the world powers trying to sanction Latinos and things like that. Not really. It's not a big push on the internet to, hey, why you Latinos are not on our side? You don't hear that. Right? Because Latinos, who are basically Native Americans, who seem to, for some reason, identify with a mythological race called Latinos, which there's not a race. It's just y'all speak Spanish, which is a European language, just like English is a European language. And those guys are really Native Americans who are mixed with white people. Period. That's what they are. One day they'll figure that shit out. Some of them have, but one day they'll figure it out. Right? You don't see them coming down on them, as a big group. Hey, y'all guys need to be on Israel's side. You don't see that, right? You don't see Israel and America, right? You don't see them going after the Japanese or the Asian community about why they not coming down, why they not on the Israeli side, when clearly the Asian people are not on Israel's side at all. Zero. You don't see them. You don't see the world coming at them from every angle for having their own opinion, to be against the genocide that's happening in Palestine right now by the illegal immigrants, the Polish, Ukrainians, and Russians who came to Palestine and stole the land and created their false, fictitious country, right? That shouldn't really be there, to be honest. This Jewish Israeli people have a right to exist, and they have a right to liberty and safety on this planet. But the state itself is illegal and should not exist, because that state, right, there was already a country there already before they imposed their European foreign will onto that country, right? Even though these Europeans in America, they're mad because immigrants are coming to America and changing the demographics of America, changing the culture of America, but they don't have any problem with their white white brothers and sisters from Europe going to another country, sponsored by America, paid for by American tax dollars, to go to another person's country, that they were living there, minding their own business. They were already Jews there, living there, minding their own business, living in peace and harmony. They decided, white people decided for them, that that's not their country. It's going to be a white European country. People who have no connection with the land at all, right? But you don't see them, any mega organizations coming after any other really group of people, right? So AIPAC, right? AIPAC, which is a lobbying organization in America, right? AIPAC is a multi-billion-dollar organization, right, that lobbies Congress. They lobby the Democrats and the Republicans, and they pay the Democrats and the Republicans money, campaign money, right, to speak on their behalf, to push their agenda. So you have a whole country of Israel, right, who they have, I think they have like universal health care. They get housing. So think about all the free shit Israelis get in that country, right? They get to go to the hospital. They get to go to the doctors. They get to have all these amenities, right? Even if you're an American citizen, if you are a Jew, right, if you're a white person and you call yourself a Jew, you can go over there. They'll give you money. They'll give you an allowance. They'll give you a house. They'll give you everything you want, right? Paid for by the American taxpayer. So we have and this is supposed to be America. We don't like welfare, but we have a whole welfare state, which is Israel, who they get to have universal health care. They get to have all these amenities. They get to have all this shit paid for by the American taxpayer. But the American taxpayer, we don't get to have universal health care for ourselves. But we pay for somebody else's universal health care. We supposed to be American. Now, I'm an African American. I'm also an American. When did Americans become punk ass bitch pussies for Israel? When did the great and all powerful America become Israel's bitch? It's when lobbying companies like AIPAC, right, were able to flex their money and power to corrupt politicians and make them do what it is that they want them to do. And this is what they do, AIPAC. This is what organizations like AIPAC does. Let's say there is a politician that doesn't want to do what it is that they say, don't want to push their agenda. You know what they're going to do? They're going to put money into their opponent. So if they don't play ball, the AIPAC, the Jewish lobbying group, right, they're going to spend money on your opponent to make sure you are no longer in power. So we have a foreign sponsored group in America that punishes and threatens and manipulates American politicians so that Israel can ultimately be benefited by American policy. So Israel, with their group AIPAC, has taken the American government hostage with their money. Keep in mind, their money from us. Keep in mind, it's our money that they cycle in. They get our money because, keep in mind, we send them billions. They take that billions and they distribute it amongst their corrupt politicians and non-NGOs. Then they take that money, they give that some of the money, our money, to AIPAC. AIPAC takes that money and gives it to the politicians that will come on TV and look you in your face and tell you need to support Israel and their genocide. And before we start thinking, oh, this is a Democrat and Republican thing, I want you to understand that while we're watching the Democrats who are in charge do everything that the Israeli government wants them to do because they are paid, they are forced to do it, is either you get down or lay down. Remember, the Republican Party said on the campaign trail when they had the last debate, every one of them would do exactly the same thing. This is not a Democrat or Republican thing. This is a politician thing. This is a government. This is no matter Democrat, Republican. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, both of them pandered to the Israeli government. Both of them work for the Israeli government. Both of them. You keep from here. Donald Trump, when he moved that goddamn embassy, that was the first step in the long road of genocide and displacement of a population. That was part of it. He's just as much accountable for what's happening right now as Joe Biden and the rest of those piece of shit ass politicians. Now, guess what? Guess who are the only politicians that's called for a ceasefire in over there in Palestine that is currently being occupied by Jewish illegal immigrants, right? for 75 years. Guess who are the only politicians who have a heart and decided they're going to speak truth to power? The black ones on the Democratic side. The black politicians and the one Palestinian politician. So you telling me out of the hundreds of politicians in America that can see, that we're all seeing the same thing, dead babies, you telling me the only politicians that have a heart in America are the black ones on the Democratic side? Not the black ones on the conservative side, because those are coons. They have to speak. They have to. And we got some coons on the Democratic side too. They ain't saying shit because they know that if they say some shit, they're gonna get primaried. Do you know that the AIPAC? Did you know that AIPAC has declared they're gonna spend $100 million on the opponents of every one of these black and Palestinian politicians that call for a ceasefire in Gaza, that called for Israel to stop the genocide of the Palestinian people, that called for the for aid to be taken into the Palestinian people. The only ones that's actually telling the truth, the only ones that's actually doing their job, the only ones that actually care about human beings, they are going to be primaried, and the AIPAC is going to spend $100 million. So the Jews are going to spend $100 million to get all the black politicians out of politics because they dared to challenge them. They dared to hold them accountable for the genocide that they're doing. That's how powerful black people are. That's how powerful black people are. They need to stop us. That's why Israel's saying we're powerful. Y'all might not think that we're powerful because you think, oh, we don't hold as much power. We hold a lot of power. You guys don't. We have crept into the institutions in this government, and what's going to happen is once we get enough to where we have enough politicians in any party, where we have the numbers to push our own individual agendas, then we can start making effective change that's actually going to benefit African Americans and overall society, because anything that benefits African Americans in this country benefits all of Americans. That's the thing. The standard at which we want, the standard of which the things that we want in this country is which everybody wants in this country. So you do good for black people, you're doing good for everybody in this country. And that's what the powers that be are afraid of. Because we have a big mouth. We have a large population. We're strong, we're smart, and we are in every facet of government making individual changes within the system. Just like you have systematic racism, you have cogs in the machine that slow us down. We have infiltrated that system, and we're changing slowly within the system, those things that hinder us, that get in our way, whether you know it or not. You see, you don't know what a lot of these politicians are doing behind closed doors. You just think and you just broadly generalize that they're all coons, they're all traitors just because they're there. You don't even know, right? Most people's understanding of policies and tactics are very shallow. Y'all swimming in 3 feet of water, right? When that water is really deep, this water is really deep, and a lot of y'all are not willing to go down there and swim, right? Because there's a lot of pressure down there. But trust and believe, man, African people are taking power. Listen, African countries, they're taking control of all of their resources. All that shit we complain about, all that's changing. Every African country right now is saying, you know what? We ain't selling none of this raw shit. We about to make all this money. All African countries are doing that right now. So while everybody's saying, African people, we just get taken advantage. That shit's not yes, it happened. It was happening, but now that they know, they're doing better. So it's going to take some years to see the results of all the economic changes that's happening. But Africa's on the rise. We going 100 miles an hour up. African people on the rise. African continents on the rise. Look at the American government. Look at all the powerful black people in the most powerful positions. Look who the third most powerful person in America is, the black guy. He's running our military. He controls all that shit. You think that he's just an automatic coon? You think you got to be a coon to get up there? No. He's still a black guy. Inside his mind, there's still some shit that he got to do, but he understands tactically there's only but so much he can do as an individual. He has to make gradual changes. He has to change minds. We have to prove ourselves continuously, and that's what we've been doing. And as we do that, we get in these governments, we take effective change, and we make change. A lot of the change that we have now was made by black people that don't get any thanks for the things that they've done politically. Look how we threw Obama on the bus. Yeah, I have no idea what Obama did for us. We did a lot, but you let people generally walk around and say he didn't do anything for us because people just say it on the internet because it sounds contrarian and cool. But he did a lot for us. He did a lot, and Donald Trump did absolutely nothing for us. You still got people walking around talking about some fucking some fucking HBCUs. The motherfucker did not do anything for black people. Biden has given 10 times more money to HBCUs than Donald Trump. But y'all wouldn't know that because none of these people y'all listen to on the internet that talk about politics know what the fuck they talking about. They're just regurgitating Fox News. Joe Biden, even though I didn't vote for him, he's a piece of shit, he has given more money to HBCUs than about 10 times more than Donald Trump. Joe Biden has given more money to one HBCU than Donald Trump has gave to all HBCUs when he was there. That's how much more money Joe Biden and his administration have given to HBCUs. But y'all don't know that because y'all don't pay attention to shit. Y'all just want to hear what you want to hear. You know, and y'all got to be careful about that shit. Stop believing shit coons and fucking Republicans say because they want you to be divided so they can conquer you. You know, period. That's just what it is, you know? So, but at the end of the day, all these white institutions at the very top, you know, they're not for us. But if you want a government to be for us, we need to be the government, right? We need to have that attitude like the EFF. That's what we need. We need a party in America like EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters. That's what we need. Until we African Americans have our own EFF in America, we should call it EFF. Just like the EFF in South Africa, they are spreading EFF ideologies all over Africa. And there's no reason why African Americans shouldn't adopt the EFF policies and adopt at least some of their stuff. We would have to fit it for America, but the EFF, and they are the foundation of black power and Pan-Africanism right now. Julius Malema is, for effective purposes, probably the leader of the Pan-African movement or one of the leaders of the Pan-African movement globally. And we should be following his example. Just saying, but y'all, black people are powerful. We're taking our position. This is Games of Thrones, and we are looking at the throne and we are walking towards it. There's a lot of shit in the way. People gonna fight. This ain't gonna be easy. It's never been easy for us. We always been about that life anyway. So we're gonna suffer and fight all the way to the throne. But mark my words, we're going there and we're very dangerous. And they know it. Because all being equal, no one has an advantage over us black people. We have the advantage. We have a massive advantage. And the thing is, we don't realize we have the advantage. White people know we have the advantage. That's why they fight so hard to keep us from knowing who we are, where we're from, and what we're about. Because once we figure out who we are, where we're from, and what we're about, it's game over. You understand? Because we're dangerous. Anyway, that's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn some, teach some. I'm out.